Welcome back, my friends. This is Dr. Stephen Newhart, and this is Vigor Active Health Chats. I'm excited for our guest today and our discussion because we're going to go into some in-depth stuff about fitness, health. We want you to understand first that at Vigor Active, you are our priority. You are number one. We care about you. We do this because of you. If you were not here, we would not be here. So today, let's talk about how we can work on you and improving you and see how much information you get out of it. I have actually done too many of these, so I don't even want to hear from what I have to say anymore. So I love to bring professionals on that can give you a different insight than what I have to offer. And I'm with Kenzie Ford today. Kenzie, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we appreciate that. So you're new to our team, and I'm super excited about that. And you already have your first client who decided that they want to hang out with you for like 6 months straight, which is cool. So you have that, which is amazing. But a lot of questions today, and I kind of want to pick your brain. Let's have a discussion, just, open forum. But first, I want to hear about you. One thing I do know is that you are a military lady, which we appreciate you for that. But there's obviously a huge backstory. So take me back to when you were 3 years old and give me the full, take me back. Tell me about you. Tell me how you got to this point.
So yeah, I originally was an athlete in high school, played volleyball, soccer, fell in love with the fitness aspect of that. Then I decided not to play ball in college, so I had to have something to kind of fill that void, which ended up being bodybuilding, and fell in love with that while I was in Utah. So much that I actually got my associates and then decided to go a whole different route and get my personal trainer certification. Did a little bit of that while I was out there in Utah and just kind of started to realize that I found so much joy in watching, especially women, because that's kind of who I worked with at the time, truly find confidence. And it was empowering watching them fall in love with their bodies and also just the power that it gave them as they started to bodybuild, weight train. So fell in love with that. And now here I am in Texas and I'm still doing the same thing. And I think that just the biggest thing for a personal trainer is watching their clients go from absolutely no confidence to just the highest of highs. It's a pretty beautiful experience. So I'm happy to be here. Yeah, totally.
If you have confidence, then you are willing to go tell your boss, I don't want to work here anymore. And I've been doing this for too long. And I've had that happen. Everything worked out for everybody, but still it's for their life. That was a huge leap.
Totally.
When they have that confidence, and they have that internal, just grit to be able to say, I'm going to take control of my own life. So It's amazing. Thank you for what you do. You're already helping people here. So let's have just a discussion about what we can do to help people. You gave me a great idea before we got started here, and I want to hear about it. You said, I kind of went over this the other day in a class I was teaching, but people do these New Year's resolutions, at my church the other day, my pastor goes, yeah, you guys have about 3 days till those are over.
Those things die off.
Which was, it's like a month. How can we keep all of our people motivated that have actually made these resolutions, that are trying to stick to something and make it a long-term change? What do you think?
Well, I think the biggest thing is motivation only lasts for so long. You can only be motivated for so long. After motivation dies out, you have to start implementing discipline and being able to encourage others to be stronger with their discipline, be more confident in the sense of, I can do this, even though you can find any excuse in the book as to why not to implement fitness into your life. It's better to just kind of put your foot down and be like, I'm inserting this into my schedule and this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to make any changes to that. As soon as you start to make that a regular thing, I mean, we talked about this, it takes 66 days to create a habit on average. And I think that as soon as you can start to implement that, you'll start to feel things like, the dopamine that you get from working out is something that actually becomes, personally for me, addictive. Like it's something that you start to just truly enjoy. And so I think that if you can be disciplined enough to create that habit and then start to fall in love with what that habit has done for your life, I think that's the easiest way to continue something that at the beginning is very hard. But as you go down the road and continue to pursue it, it becomes something more enjoyable and you're passionate about.
I agree. And so then we might even say, From a mental health aspect, so we could shift into that. This is obviously something mental that's going on. What are your thoughts? What's your background as far as what fitness can do for like a kind of a mental state?
100%. It's funny. I recently just worked with a client, and she was really struggling mentally in the sense of her work environment was very hard. Her dating life was very hard. And I just said, let's just get you walking. Like, let's just get you moving. Let's just kind of something very, very simple. And she was doing that for about 30 minutes a day. And she's like, wow, like I'm so much happier. Like I feel relieved. And working out can truly do that for you. I mean, you're going to feel so much better going on a walk in the fresh air or on a treadmill inside rather than sitting on the couch and watching a reality house TV show. Like it's not going to be as beneficial. And as soon as you make that step to do that, you'll feel, like we said, the dopamine that comes from, wow, I just got my body moving and my body feels great. Your body is going to be like, thank you. And so kind of relying on fitness and that aspect rather than other things in the world that can give you a few seconds of joy is going to make a difference, not only physically, but definitely mentally.
Agreed. Again, you're right on point. So you're a female bodybuilder. Okay. There's a lot of ladies out there. I think it's still a kind of a misnomer. Oh, if I do this, I'm going to get huge and all this and that. But what if they're thinking that they must lift heavy to get benefit? What do you think about that? You think it's possible to still gain health without lifting a whole bunch of heavy weight?
100%. One thing that I have loved and a lot of my friends have loved is Pilates. Like lifting your body weight is going to be just as beneficial. One thing I recently got into due to being in the Air Force is running. And I never thought I was going to be a runner. I sprinted for, I was a soccer player, so sprinting kind of came in hand, but I never thought I was going to be like a long distance runner. Mind you, I'm not running marathons, so let's not say that I am. But just doing that as well has been super beneficial. And to go on your point in the sense of bodybuilding is going to make you big, it takes so much for women to get bulky. Like, I don't think women realize how much it takes to get that bulky. Most of the women that you see that are that big, which no shame on them, but most of them are juicing or on some type of enhancer. And so if you weight lift, I promise you're not going to look like a D1 football player. It's not going to happen.
That's good. So we know we don't have to come in and do crazy heavy stuff like to get anywhere. Have you ever done this before? Have you ever talked about what somebody could, not even coming in here, but what they could do at their office to, and you just said body weight. So
yeah,
I guess we could do body weight exercise. What are some things that maybe somebody could do in their office?
Get out of the chair. Like your spine is like begging you to just get up. And so one thing to do is get those kind of stand raising computer holders. What is that called?
Veridesk.
Yes.
What was the name?
Get one of those. I mean, even if you can just stand up, that's the biggest thing. But even getting like a walking pad, pushing yourself that when you need to take a bathroom break, do like a quick walk around the office. I mean, I did used to work a corporate job and my shoulders, my back killed me. And one thing I did is on my lunch break, I cut my lunch a little bit shorter and I walked around the property. So just doing like things like that to get your body moving, getting those steps in. I mean, investing in an Apple Watch or something where you can kind of make it fun and like see how far you can go, how many steps you can get a day, like making it something. I love competitions. So like compete against yourself. There's no one else that's going to really be pushing you as much as yourself if you do it in the right way.
So let's shift gears for a second, which great information, and hopefully people stay moving at their desks in their offices. So what if you were going to give people some sort of like a wake up routine? And I think about it, I'll throw her under the bus. I don't know if you're going to give my wife a wake up routine. You know what I mean? It's just not existent. But what would be a wake up routine for people? Just get their day going. Maybe even it's exercise. I don't know. What do you think?
Totally. I think the biggest thing is when your alarm clock goes off, get out of bed. I think that is the biggest problem is that when your alarm clock, stop snoozing the alarm clock. If you need to put your phone in a different room, put your phone in a different room. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing is as soon as that alarm clock goes off, get up. One thing I'm a big believer in is get ice on the face, get cold water on the face as much as you can. Wake yourself up, take an ice shower. That's a little bit pushy, an ice cold shower, but just like throw some water on your face, get you going. And then, I mean, have like something to do with hygiene, like a skincare routine or something, just make you feel good. I'm a big advocate of gut health. So I have like 7 different supplements I take in the morning to make sure that I'm taking care of my gut. So that's one thing. But I think the biggest thing is just stop making excuses. The first excuse of the day is snoozing your alarm clock. So that should good. No longer be an excuse, is your snooze button.
I was the person, the first time I missed anything, I moved the alarm clock. It's way across the room.
Yes.
And you have to take however many steps to get, and you're up, and you're like, man, this doesn't make any sense to go back in there and lay down. So you take supplements. Any other nutritional guidance for the morning that people should? Breakfast stuff.
Yes, it's especially us girls. I think sometimes we think, oh, I'm not really that hungry in the morning, so I'm just gonna like go. Don't get me wrong, I do think fasting in some sort can be beneficial, but in regards to an everyday thing, getting 30 grams of protein in breakfast is very important. You want to start your day off strong. Your body needs fuel. If you don't have fuel, you're not going to be able to be as productive. So for me, I think that's very important, especially in regards to women's hormones. You don't want high cortisol. High cortisol means you're running off of caffeine, you're running off of stress hormones. If you can get your body fueled, your cortisol will drop. And so I think that's super important. To kind of touch base on that though, cortisol is something that if you have a high amount of it, you will start carrying fat in your stomach. And so getting yourself de-stressed, kind of what we were saying is like a night routine, a morning routine is going to help lower your stress levels, which will help drop your cortisol levels.
So do you recommend any sort of snacks, things like that?
I'm a big Whole Foods type of girl.
Yeah.
Lately, just kind of working and stuff, I've definitely been grabbing the jerky or the cheese stick because I get hungry. But I really try to do like hard-boiled eggs, fruit, kind of go that route rather than I really don't like supplements or foods that have a ton of ingredients. Whereas I'm saying this to him and he knows I drink Celsius, but we're going to move on from that.
Well,
everybody has their weakness.
Processed stuff, I mean, it's been engineered and it's put together and your body doesn't do well with it. So then we have protein powder and we say, sure, you need to take 2 scoops and you'll get 40 grams. But then some people will say, well, you actually going to have more if you really want 40 grams because your body's not going to absorb all that. And it's not really going to be 40. And we go back and forth on this stuff. So
just eat a steak.
Yeah, sounds good. So, okay, let's talk about beginners for a second there. If we have some beginners coming down, what kind of a split routine would you say for them to do in the gym? Or just exercises they should do when they get down here?
Yeah, totally. I think the gym can be very scary. And when you walk in and it literally looks like you're in an amusement park, like all of our machines, it looks like you could get inside of them and you could be on a roller coaster. The amount of like clients I've strapped in and been like, okay, hold on. Like, so there's a lot of different types of machines that can be scary. I think the biggest thing is to go into something very simple. We have our squat, we have our deadlift, we have our shoulder press, our chest, things like that are just very, very simple. A lot of those things you can find online when it comes to form. But luckily here at the gym, we do have 3 free assessments in regards to our personal trainers. They can take you all over the gym, kind of teach you which machines do what, as well as kind of create a program for you specific for your body. Personal trainers are there to give you that knowledge, but they're also there to give you that confidence in the gym. I mean, we know the gym like the back of our hand. So walking you through that and holding your hand through it, I think is going to help a lot of the beginners, especially here at Vigor, kind of understand what they're getting themselves into. And then on top of it, we're your friends. Like even no matter what, we see you have now a few friends in the gym. And so when you walk in, you're more comfortable. I think gyms can be very scary when you don't know anyone. And I would say that we take that very seriously here, is making sure everybody feels comfortable and they feel like they have a friend or a friendly face.
I agree. And you kind of need that when you're working, getting into any sort of fitness routine. Any misconceptions you've heard in the fitness industry over your time that you want to?
Well, I love that you touched on the bulkiness.
Bulky thing.
Yeah, that was a big one. Mostly for women, I really kind of know those because when I was a beginner, oh my gosh, like you get on TikTok or you get on Instagram and there are 7 people saying 7 different things and then they're all saying what you shouldn't do, but then this person says you should. It's like so overwhelming, social media. And I think that a lot of women get kind of sucked into that type of, it's just a cycle. You just get stuck in it. And so I think the biggest thing when it comes to misconceptions is look for someone who has the certification, who has the degree, who knows what they're talking about, and follow them. And then as you start to create confidence in the gym and understanding, and you create your own knowledge, then you can go out and people might give you tips and tricks that will help you in your fitness journey. But go towards people that actually have the certification rather than just, listening to people online.
Yeah, and you kind of went back to personal training on that, and I agree. About 1980 in this area is when like a Larry North was starting to pioneer personal training. Before that, nobody thought of, oh, I know how to exercise. I could teach other people, and they could come in and we could start a little partnership together, and it would be good for me and it would be good for them. So since that time here at this club, at least, we've made sure that we keep that same product. Around other areas, the product of personal training has, and it's done this. And so, and many people that they step online and say, I'm going to be a personal trainer online. It doesn't have the same. And I think we will see another big boom of in-person personal training because you just can't beat it. Plus the energy that you're sharing with the individual. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. Some people are going to the gym because they're looking for energy, And that is something that how we hire individuals in the gym is true. Telling secrets. But we need energetic people because individuals are coming here to look for energy in the people, in the machines, in the music, whatever it is. So we have to be keeping that product of what personal training is. And that trainer can also, again, clear up those misconceptions that everybody has about all kinds of things, But how about this one? We throw this out there. Yeah, nutrition plays a pretty big part in how successful we're actually going to be. You can do crunches all day.
Yes.
And here they come. Here come the abs. No, you have to calm it down with the food intake and make
caloric deficit. And yeah, I think that's always funny. I always get the question like, Kenzie, what's the ab routine? What's the ab routine? And I'm like, caloric deficit, your nutrition, and engaging your core in every single lift. And they're like, yeah, but what's your ab routine? I'm like, oh, okay, we gotta bring it back, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, you don't have 5,000 followers, so why would I listen to you? Yes. No, false. Well, there's a misconception. Don't need 5,000 followers to be an awesome personal trainer, because here's one right here. Anything as far as so you said a lot of benefits about what other benefits are there to working with a trainer versus being alone?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it too. Overall, like the energy that we are giving to that client, but as well as someone can hand you a program to do at your house. How do you know you're doing the form right? How do you know that your feet are in the right position, or you're supposed to be neutralizing your spine or engaging your core, or those types of things? I am constantly touching my client. I'm constantly making sure they have mind to muscle. I'm constantly making sure they're engaging that core. Those types of things where you're not going to get that in a home program. It's something where when we are hands-on trainers, you genuinely just can't get that anywhere else. So I would say definitely energy, hands-on, and just overall knowledge. I mean, there's the simple fundamentals that come into it, but also each trainer has kind of their own niche, and we can provide knowledge that you wouldn't really get anywhere else. I think, like you said, that one-on-one, hopefully there is a bigger boom because those types of things are very important, as well as just the fact that I am constantly texting my clients. I am constantly checking on them, make sure they're drinking water. How are you feeling today? I am their motivation. I do have to teach them discipline, those types of things. And it's kind of easier when you have someone pushing that onto you rather than you just have to create that on your own.
I tell people all the time, I didn't get to this place because I didn't have somebody in the gym telling me, but that was a coach, that was our sport coaches. But I spent years and years and years under somebody saying, yeah, gotta do it this way. Yeah, that's how that lift's supposed to go. Yeah, this is when you add weight, and you hear it, and that's how we go forward with our own bodies. But people thinking, I don't need that. Well, that's not right. it's like, I've never seen you with a trainer. I was with a coach for 8 years telling me how to do it. So I think it's beneficial for everybody to do it and do a little bit of it so that they can get that, that guidance like we talk about. What about cardio?
Kenzie 2 years ago would have been like out the door already. But no, I actually think cardio is very important. I grew up, my papa ran like 5 miles a day. That man is freaking insane. I used to think that it was pointless, but it's very beneficial. I've recently started hybrid training, so running on top of weightlifting, and I have seen a phenomenal difference in my body, overall definition in my legs, and weight loss. I have seen weight loss. You do have to be careful. There's women out there with different types of things they're dealing with hormones. Sometimes running is not going to be as beneficial as going at an incline on a walk or the Stairmaster, kind of a slower paced cardio rather than that quick pace, due to the fact that you will increase in stress levels, which will increase your cardio. Everyone's different. And going back to having a trainer, I mean, sitting down with a trainer, explaining what you're dealing with in regards to medical issues as well can kind of help you decipher which cardio is going to be best for you. But 2 years ago, wouldn't have said I liked it. Now, honestly, after running, the runner's high is real. Like, it really is something that gives you peace, gets your mind in a place where you can conquer all those goals you have set out for that day. So I would highly recommend it.
I agree. So since you've been here, let's talk about the club for a minute. What have you noticed as far as the differences in our club from other clubs? Or, we're very heavy on the corporate fitness side. What do you notice differently? I had amenities and things like that.
Yeah, totally. Well, overall, I think there's gyms everywhere in the world. You could go to numerous different types of gyms. Most of them are going to have very similar equipment, but it's also the atmosphere that this gym brings. It's family owned. I mean, you and Ashley are amazing, and you guys really bring that friendly, like small town almost kind of vibe. Guests walk in and names are known, smiles are had. Those types of things are very important in an environment like this. The gym is already scary. There doesn't need to be rude, scary people that are running the gym. As well as the fact that it is corporate. A lot of our people come from very important jobs that are high stress level, and they're able to walk into a gym that is peaceful as well as get the machine that they want. This isn't a gym like, I'm not going to name gym names.
It's okay.
But this isn't a corporate gym in the sense of, where it's like everybody is on, you're not going to walk up to the bench press and there's going to be like 7 teenagers on the bench press. You're not going to have to deal with things like that. Everybody has the same mindset, the same goals, is surrounded in the same type of jobs, and just get in, get it done with a friendly smile on their face. And I think that really does offer a lot to a gym, as well as just overall, it's a one-stop shop. I mean, you go in, you work out, you can get to the showers, you can everything you need, and you can get out and get to work. And I think we definitely help with stress levels, I think, with our high-end corporate people, because we're probably the only place they're getting that.
Come in, I forgot something. We've got it.
We've got it. Yes. Razor in the bathroom.
Well, once I was always, I forgot my shorts. Like, these are clean. Take my shorts. They're clean, I promise.
Steven's giving people his shorts.
Yes. The shorts, Just gotta, we just have to be here for people because, like you said, it's high stress and they need those things. We appreciate everybody for taking the time to listen to our talk today. We hope that it positively affects you. We do want to see you. So, don't just watch from afar. Get off the bench, come into the game, come see us here, come see Kenzie. Kenzie's ready to take, all new people, everybody that has questions and wants the guidance. So we're here for you. We're ready to meet you, and we hope you have a good day. Talk to you soon.